Alright, I have a question that's been kind of nagging at me for a while, but it's not really important, but every so often the thoughts about the question come up. It just doesn't matter. It's nothing that really needs to be talked about, but I still ask the question from time to time, so I might as well just bring it out in a video, think about it out loud. Did I really compete against my mom's husband for her love, for her attention? Was it an Oedipus complex and we were competing for her? Maybe, I don't know, just for her attention or whatever. Like maybe I loved my mom like she could have been my girlfriend or something. I've heard that repeatedly throughout my life, that maybe I was competing against her for attention over Grant. Okay, and that's the husband. Ever since I was 9, maybe? It's pretty early, maybe 8? It wasn't so much since 8, but he's been around in my life since 8 years old or so. And then, yeah, just, it was towards my late teens, I think I started hearing more about competition and stuff. How I was competing for my mom's love over him. He would never be direct with me about that. I would never hear anything from him. He wasn't really direct about anything, honestly, but I would hear it from her. He would be planting seeds in her head, and then she would bring it up with me that I was competing for her love with him. And I genuinely dislike my mom, okay? I failed a psychological test for the military, and they had to do a one-on-one evaluation to make sure that, you know, I wasn't like gonna harm anybody, shoot myself, shoot her, shoot other people out of rage. But it's something that's been nagging at me, and I mean I generally dislike her, but it's like, would I be bringing out this dislike because I was hearing this issue with me competing for her love too? Would that be an issue? Would that be a reason why I say I'd say I hate her? Okay, I just flat out hate her. I've hated her for years. Okay, I'm not competing with her husband for her love. I mean, I haven't talked to them in years now. They could be dead for all I care. And in a way, it would feel like a weight was lifted off my shoulder. It'd feel like losing this cyst on my shoulder right now. This nagging pain on my shoulder would be lifted if they were gone out of my life. And they feel like they are, but I've blocked my mom on Facebook, but I haven't quite blocked her on Twitter. And she did Twitter me a couple months ago and asked like how I'm doing. I said, you can Google my name and leave me alone. And she's like, she doesn't want to Google my name, you know, and then we have a special bond or something like that. She said something about how we have a special bond, and but she talks about this love, this bond, mother-son bonds. You know, this is months ago. This is years ago. Okay. It still, every so often it creeps up and nags me. Like I get weird dreams, like I dreamed about my dad a couple nights ago. And it's just thoughts that run through my head. I reflect. Since I'm older, I'm a person who reflects, and that's perfectly natural. It's perfectly healthy. People reflect when they're older, and if you don't, then you're unhealthy. All right? But there are probably people who have a tendency to reflect more on the past and others. And me believing I have a earthy personality from the Chinese face reading, just reading my face. I believe that earthy people, well, it says earthy people have a tendency to reflect back, okay? And I don't mind doing it. It helps pass the time. But, am I competing against my mom for her love against him, or is he just feeding that into her? I mean, we all have a genuine dislike for each other, but every so often we'll feel sorry for each other if something tragic happens, and then maybe have that guilt to draw us together. But there's still a genuine dislike. So when the guilt wears off, because the feeling of guilt may not last very long. It's like you wanna just act on that feeling of guilt quickly if you're trying to use it to your advantage, because it doesn't last very long. You know, over genuine dislike, over genuine hate. Genuine love would be a more long-lasting emotion for somebody than guilt. Okay, but it was just very isolated. We were isolated emotionally from each other, and then even as isolated as I thought I felt I kept, I was still being told I was competing for her love. I took advantage of her as a kid. She bought food for us. I had to. It's like a dog feeding a dog. Okay, you can't bite the hand of the dog. So there's that type of affection, I guess. The affection a dog gives you. That's as far as it goes. It's like almost she's feeding me not to kill her. If you feed a dog not to kill, so it doesn't kill you, right? But I mean, there's that genuine respect for the other person too. That there is that long history from childhood that they were there to provide for you when you were completely vulnerable to everything. You pooped yourself, you didn't know how to walk, you couldn't feed yourself, all that, and you got these people who took care of you while you were vulnerable. They didn't have to love you to do that. They did it out of a sense of duty. But yeah, our relationship soured since then. There was maybe I was just a really not nasty child to deal with, and just didn't want to. But Grant didn't come in till I was 8 years old. But still, there was just a general dislike of each other. This one thing that really turned my attention away, just an anger towards them, was this stupid hair trick, that joke that people do. They put two hairs in a puddle and then tell you to get close to watch the hairs fight, and then they splash the water in your face. I was so angry about that, because I thought we were trying to build trust for each other, and that's the type of joke that builds distrust. If you generally want to build distrust to somebody, then you pull these pranks that are supposed to build trust, that you think illusionally is supposed to build trust, and then turn around and cause distrust.